So you found the skeleton. How would you tell it's a dinosaur? You personally, how would you decide?
Well, interesting question. I don't know. I'd have to do some research on this.
Hey everybody, welcome to Tisdall Tuesday on a Saturday. I am here with Chesh, my co-host for Tisdall Tuesday. You might be wondering, what happened to everybody else? Well, they're on various...
It was me.
It
I
was
destroyed
Chesh.
them.
Yeah.
I'm here to take over.
Yeah. Chesh is going to be owning the channel soon.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
My hostile takeover begins. I'm here to destroy channels. That's all I do. I go around and destroy other people's channels.
Yeah. But actually, Kip is away, as is Vishanti. They both ended up being away on the exact same day. So, yeah.
I'm back up.
Yeah, I asked Chesh, like, hey, you want to do what we do on, the second Tuesday of the month, except also on this Saturday? And Chesh was kind enough to say yes.
To be fair, I said yes before I knew what we were doing.
True, but you didn't back out after you knew what we were doing.
Also true.
Which you could have. I don't know how it would have stopped you. I mean, I'm not going to go out to Ontario and try to find you. I ain't get that kind of dedication. Yeah, I would have just done something on my own. But anyway, we are here.
Hello, other Cheshes in the chat who have joined us.
Yes. So we have a few things to go over before we actually get started. The first one is that I was gifted from my wish list a pack of granola bars, as well as a 15-pound bag of rice, which, in case anyone's wondering, the embargo on please don't buy me rice kind of thing, that is currently lifted. You may now buy rice if you want to, either because you like me so much that you want me to have free rice. Well, free for me, not for you. Or if you just like the meme of it all. But, yeah. I was down to my last bag, and I was like, all right, people can buy rice.
Lift the embargo on rice?
Yeah, so, the card that came with the gift said, you must eat the granola bars in bed, JK, because I'm absolutely not going to eat those in bed. And from Nebula. So thank you very much, Nebula. I really appreciate it.
Cat is pointing out that you were abandoned, which is hilarious because that is the exact message he sent me.
True, yeah. Yeah, Chesh, help, I've been abandoned.
I've been abandoned. I see.
Yep. So, now we also have to mention that we just received 15 total memberships from...
Look at you go.
Let's see. Lieutenant Math Navigator, Pegajace, the Pasta Apostate, and Metageeky Platypus Librarian. So, let's take 15 drinks, and here we go. 1.
Boy.
2. This needs to be stirred a little bit more. Give me a second. I mostly just drank a bunch of rum.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Starting off strong.
Yep.
Oh, I can hear that.
3. Oh, there it is. That's much, much better. 4. 5.
That's all you're getting from me, or I'm gonna, explode.
All right. Well, while I take 10 more, Chesh is going to tell us the finer points about whether or not a comm badge should go on the left side or the right side of a Starfleet uniform.
No, I don't.
And which side the pip should go on.
I think it goes on. I think the comm goes on the left side, and the pips go on the right side. I think.
Correct.
I might be wrong.
No, you got that. But that only took 5 drinks. So,
I only got that right because, most characters, most heroic characters are right-handed. So if you're tapping your comm badge, it's going this side. Like, my reboot tattoo, if it were to be more technically correct, would either need to be here or here. And it's not on this side because I had moles there when I got the tattoo done. So I didn't want to get the tattoo done on top of it. Wait, I need to get it redone, but I'm lazy.
All right.
And poor.
Tattoos are expensive. Roshan for $4.99 says, the Super Chat sponsored by Blue One, the dye that makes the best Mountain Dew flavors and puts the blast in Baja Blast. Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
So, yeah, the other thing I want to talk about is the pin chat does indicate that half of today's Super Chats and gift membership proceeds are going to Bent. It's been it's been quite an August. So, earlier in the month, we had to get an HVAC guy out because the drain line on the central air was not draining, which meant that the AC wouldn't come on. Which, when you live in Tucson and the temperature is in the 40s...
In the desert.
Yeah, and the temperature's in the 40s Celsius, or, the mid-hundreds Fahrenheit. Central air is important. And so that was, a little on the pricey side. And then there was a faucet that started just not leaking like a drip, but like a pencil-thin just stream of water. Not ideal. So I had to have a plumber come out. Then a few days ago, the dishwasher didn't come on. So first, a dishwasher tech came out, charged money for it, to come out, obviously, but then was like, yeah, it's the outlet. I can't do anything about that. And also showed that if we plugged it into a different outlet via an extension cord running through the kitchen, that it would turn on just fine. But not wanting to live the entire rest of my life at the whims of an extension cord in the kitchen, surrounded by water.
Yeah, that's...
yeah. An electrician came out the other day, and if Ashley is in the chat, she and I had to delay our Space Marine 2 play session until after the electrician was gone, so that I felt comfortable turning the computer on again. So
no bueno.
Yeah. So as a result, what I'm going to do here is until we get to 100% on the goal here, which has been adjusted to make it the perfect amount, so that half of what I made right now will actually fully cover the electrician. Half of what we make up is going to go to Bent. So if we don't get to 100%, Bent isn't going to quite get enough to fully cover the electrician, but it will offset no matter what. And if we do get to 100%, then that electrician visit will have been free to Bent. So, yeah, because it's been a bit of a rough month, but I also didn't feel like it was worth setting up like a GoFundMe or something. It's like,
it's not bad enough, but it's worth like a little bit of assistance.
Yeah. So if you like me and or you like Bent, and you want that to be a little reason to donate a little bit, that's fine. My Unfinished Studio has retracted a message, but it was for $2.22. I appreciate it, and if you have a different message that you want to send, then...
I believe they were saying hail to us, you and me, and then I think there was a typo.
Well, typos do happen. Let's see. Unintrigued Feline says, full linguist, can you enlighten me why Baja is pronounced like Baja? It's because it's Spanish. So in Spanish, the J started out as the Y sound, which is what it actually was originally used for. It was originally used, originally, it was basically used as like word final I think. But then it started being used for when I was being used as a consonant for the Y sound, which is how it's still used in a lot of Germanic languages. But in Spanish, that sound shifted to a H sound. The original Y in Spanish, in like Old Spanish, or maybe it was Middle Spanish, shifted to a H sound. And so they didn't do any spelling reform. And so now the J in Spanish is a H sound, which is why when people laugh in text in Spanish, they write J-A, J-A, J-A.
Ja. Wait. Wait is from Brazil.
There you go. So yeah,
H-U-E. Wait.
And also Baja comes up in Baja California, which is the westmost state in Mexico. It is directly south of the U.S. California. And there's also the Gulf of California, which is entirely surrounded by Mexico, which is, east of Baja California and west of what is that, Sonora or something? I don't remember. I can't keep all the Mexican states straight in my head, sorry. So, yeah.
I'm terrible at geography, don't ask me.
Alright. Well, you know what? We're going to give Chesh a blank world map and see how far she gets.
Oh.
Yeah. You can probably get some of the easy ones, like Canada or like Australia.
I can probably recognize my own country.
You think you can get South Africa? It's really easy because it's how far south it is and how it's in Africa.
Probably.
But what about Lesotho?
Never heard of it.
Oh, it is a country entirely surrounded by South Africa. So when you get the map of South Africa, there's a little dot in the middle of it.
One little
Lesotho.
dot.
Yeah. And hey, Ben
Adorable.
Fungus Stick Tunica has gifted 5 more Dapper Dinosaur memberships. So thank you very much, because we are also trying to get to the Kip Davis, the Mud Kip Davis emoji. And right now, I think we are currently at the start of the stream, we were 91 away, which means now we're 71 away if math is how math works.
Probably.
All right. So let's take 5 more drinks while Chesh goes.
I would probably technically get my own country wrong because I would just mark down Alaska as part of Canada because fuck you guys.
I mean, it's definitely not a part of Canada.
Well, it is definitely a part of Canada, but it's definitely not Canada.
I disagree that it's a part of Canada.
It is literally chopped off, like
I feel like in some
weirdly
cases,
on the side and like down the side. It's like it shouldn't not be
I have
Canada.
been to places in
Canada.
Vermont that felt a whole lot more like being in Canada than most
Oh
things
yeah.
in.
Yeah. I'm also gonna push the American border down
okay.
about like
20
couple
miles?
kilometers.
Yeah, I've been to stores in Vermont.
Enough, shove it down a little bit, just enough to get us full access and sole access to the Great Lakes with a little bit of buffer zone.
I've been to stores in Vermont that will absolutely take Canadian money.
So there were
like you could just go in with like a few Canadian dollars and buy your snacks there, and they put yeah. I mean, they put some kind of multiplier on like the listed price, which was in US dollars to like account for the exchange rate. But like, you could walk in with a $10 Canadian bill and go buy your snacks. It's fine. They didn't care because they were like 2 miles from the border.
So there used to be a ton of stores that were just border stores and border towns all across Canada, and they would always take American dollars. So if you showed up with like dollars or like a $5 bill, or you showed up with American coins, they wouldn't care. They all stopped doing that. And it has been chaos.
Lieutenant Matt the Navigator for $2 says, do hard mode, give her an English county map. Ooh.
No.
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 That'd be rough. Could you get any of them? I think I might be able to get one or two.
Push down far enough to get Seattle. Yeah, maybe.
That's pretty far. That's pretty far south of Canada.
That is pretty far.
All right, so we're not primarily here to talk about Canada, world maps, county maps, or anything else.
If you want to talk about that, join later after this stream.
Yeah, so about 6 hours after the stream ends, I think. Or wait, hold on.
Yeah. Not after the stream ends, after the stream started.
Oh, yeah. So 4 hours after the stream ends or so, I'll be over on Debate Hub.
Yeah.
I almost said the name of the website that name is based off of, which is where I will not be. So there's that. All right. I am not currently there, although I will say I have thought about re-uploading all my videos there.
I've also considered doing that for reasons.
I mean, the reason is that it's easier to get monetized and you have higher payout per watch time on there.
And no YouTube arbitrary rules.
Yeah, you're not going to just randomly get a community guidelines hit because you said, like, vaccines are good, actually. Which is something that happened to me.
Yeah, that happens to me, too.
Yeah. Rail Gattabella for $5 says, Hyder is a town in Arkansas whose only road access is to BC, but you can use Canadian dollars and USD anywhere except places like the post office where it's only USD. That makes sense.
That makes sense.
There's a couple not a couple, I think it's like 3 or 4 cities in the US that you can only get to the rest of the United States
by
going through Canada. And it's because of like weird outcomes of the treaty that established where the border is.
Yeah,
it cut off a few little like islands and whatnot that are technically on the US side, and people were like, what if we built a city here? And it's like, you could just not, though.
What if we didn't? Did you put a Tim Hortons there? There's a city there now.
Yep. Texture for $5 says, Chesh, you keep your map pushing away from Seattle. We don't need to be forgotten in a different country. AIG is a kid of Knox. I'll take a drink. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
And for $2, Rail Gattabello says, who doesn't like their dinosaur corn, though? I mean, look, I have no idea how big dinosaur corn is on the internet, because
bigger than you think.
I mean, I assume everything to do with any kind of, like, niche corn is going to be way bigger than me, than I expect it to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Same.
But if I do put my videos up there, I'm not going to be, like, doing explicit adult things. I'm just literally going to be like, okay, I'm going to download this YouTube video, upload it, delete it from my hard drive, and go back.
Just like for the like main page for you, make your dinosaur like do a little dance from behind with its tail going back and forth. One of those.
Okay. Roshina for $4.99 says, I come from the net, through systems, peoples, and cities to this place, Dapper's React stream. Well, thank you very much.
That's the opening to Reboot.
Yeah. So we're here to talk about Laurence Tisdall, who has recently been doing a couple things. One is the point of the name of the stream, which is that he passed around his balls and had everyone feel his balls, and now they're somewhere in the audience, and we don't know where the balls are. So
yeah, they're lost at this point.
Yeah, we're hoping
Will
the balls...
he find them by the end of the stream?
Yeah, Laurence, I hope you find your balls. Because as much as I might not enjoy what you're saying, I don't want you to go ballless for the rest of your life. You know.
So it's really unfortunate if somebody stole your balls.
Yeah. So I hope the balls find his balls find their way back to him from the audience who are busy feeling his balls. And also, he has been spending a few minutes basically lying about Stephen Jay Gould and punctuated equilibrium, and pretending that Gould's statements about species-level diversity and patterns below the genus level in the fossil record apply to taxa above the genus level, which they absolutely do not, something that Stephen Jay Gould was careful to be explicit about many, many times in many, many places. So, yeah, if you're a creationist and you're using Stephen Jay Gould's statements about the lack of transitionals out of context to imply that there are no transitionals at all at any levels in the taxonomic hierarchy, that's a lie. And now that you know about it, well, yeah, that too. But now that you know about that it's a lie, if you now go do it and you're a young Earth creationist, you're lying because you now know that's not true.
And that makes you a liar.
Mm-hmm. My Unfinished Studio for $2.22 says, Hail Daps, Gobbo, and hail only dinos. Lieutenant Math the Navigator for $2 says, don't go ballless, you'll end up like Sal. Oh. Poor Sal.
Man, Sal, stop being a jerk. I liked you better when you weren't being a jerk. Stop being a jerk. You don't need to be a jerk.
Mistake there, so we are not at 38, we are at 31%, so I'll take a drink for Dapper's a professional. Because we don't normally go through all the drinking triggers on Saturdays, and we're not doing it today, so... Chesh, unless you have anything real quick, I'm going to hit play on Laurence, and we're going to actually start the show that we're supposed to be doing now that we've been on for like 20 minutes.
I only have one question for the audience, and you guys can answer me. You don't get to answer. Only the audience can answer. Okay. Do I look as tired as I feel? All right, let's hit play.
Of course. Why this guy?
Oh, I'm sorry. He was just asking us, does the sudden appearance of fossils indicate that evolution or creation is true? And then some people in the audience were like, creation! That's the context. My apologies for not giving it to you.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to start
I'm just thinking of M. Bison when he turns around. Of course!
Rail Gatubella for $2 says, Dapper Dino is the next Chuck Tingle book confirmed. You know, Chuck Tingle already has plenty of dinosaur books. So, like, if that's your thing, Chuck Tingle has you covered. So, there you go. Alright.
This guy was a top evolutionist in the world at Harvard, and yet...
He's still talking about Gould.
This is not getting into the textbooks.
Okay. So, there's a few things. One, punctuated equilibrium is largely not in the textbooks because fundamentally, punctuated equilibrium is wrong. And I don't say that to mean that the observed patterns of transitional fossils in the fossil record that Gould based his ideas on is false, because that's true. That was his initial set of observations that he based his idea on. But punctuated equilibrium, per se, then went into things like talking about population-level selection and different mechanisms for macroevolution versus microevolution and things like that. And all of the things in punctuated equilibrium that are distinct to Gould and Eldridge have basically not borne out in population genetics. What has borne out are things that are already accounted for in, like, before that. Things like small populations have a lower level of effectiveness of natural selection. They are more likely to evolve via neutral evolution, things like that, right? So those things are already included in just standard evolutionary biology, and they were beforehand. And the things that are unique to Gould really have kind of gone away. But that fact about species-level transitions being rare, while higher-level transitions are largely ubiquitous, that's not gone anywhere. That's in the textbooks. You can find it. But Chesh, how many textbooks do you think Laurence Tisdall has actually read that are like college-level evolutionary biology?
I have to imagine that he's at least read or consumed a portion of at least one to have the degree that he says he has.
I'm less confident.
I am not very confident either, but like he has to have cracked one.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's 0, but 1 is a plausible answer.
To be fair, I also, when I went to college, refused to buy any of the books, so I didn't read textbooks either.
Well, they are kind of a scam.
I also dropped out after the first semester of a 2-semester course.
Well, Thatcher for $5 says, Stephen Jay Gould has been quote mined by Creationists so many times that he's legally a super fun site. More super chats equal less Tisdall with a Mothra, and we will take a drink for the Mothra, because that is true.
I took a drink, but also true. Yeah, that's very real. We do find any excuse that you guys give us to just chat about anything else. We will take it.
It's true.
And we will run.
And there's Josh McGeese with 10 Dapper Dinosaur memberships. Thank you so much.
Holy.
All right.
Let's go.
Chesh, I'm going to assume that you're not about to take 10 drinks.
I mean, I'm going to have to go get another drink.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take 10 drinks, and maybe you could regale us with a summary of how the last episode of Season 1 of Star Trek Endurance went, because you were there for that.
Oh boy, if you weren't watching it, you missed out, and you should definitely go and watch. We almost died like 7 times. We tried so hard. Maddie was out there just kicking ass and taking names, making all the rolls. I had to shoot one of my own crew members almost in the leg and fucking shoulder carry another one and just hoof it, and I'm like a narrow little cat lady. Mm-hmm. It was hilarious.
Yeah. And high stakes.
Oh, very, very much high stakes. There were celestial bodies colliding like giant balls in the sky.
That's where the balls are. They were in the sky.
That's where the balls are. We found them.
Yeah, so if you enjoy my content, or Chesh, or Craig, or Jordan from Reason to Doubt, or Maddie, you should check out Star Trek Endurance. There's a whole playlist called the Tilakal Saga, where you can catch up on a previous campaign, as well as a one-shot prelude to it, as well as a whole bunch of teaser trailers and whatnot. Which, by the way, Chesh, I'm probably going to send you sometime this week the next Captain's Log for the next teaser trailer, but since that's like weeks and weeks away, it's not a rush.
I'll probably get it to you by next week, so that way it's off my plate and I don't have to think about it.
Okay. George McMarion Snoozer Wolf, who's been a member for 12 months, says, stop posting about Gould. I'm tired of seeing it. My friends on TikTok send me a Gould. On Discord, it's fucking Gould. I was in this server, and all the continue. And also, I just dropped the one F-bomb we get. So thank you, George McMarion Snoozer Wolf, for dropping the one F-bomb.
Don't tell him I already dropped it. F.
All right. Well, now I owe myself $10. I'll transfer it to myself later. My Unfinished Song for $2.22 says, Hail Daps, Gobbo, and Only Dinos. Thank you very much. Let me just make sure I have not updated. So, here we go.
Oh, hoi me noi.
All right. Here we go. Here's more Laurence.
Being published in 1977. Hasn't changed.
I mean, it has changed. It's largely been rejected. So, like, okay. Yeah.
Sure, Jan.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what he's talking about.
There's a tiny little Opabinia over on the right. We're probably not going to get to see it. But look at it.
Aww.
Love Opabinia regalis. One of my favorite Cambrian animals.
Adorbs.
It is. Got a cute little trunk. You can almost see.
Sudden appearance. Now, as a Christian, as a creationist, in a biblical model, we would call it sudden disappearance. Think of the flood.
Geez, dude. When someone says sudden appearance, what they mean is, as you're going up the geological column, suddenly you find a new species there in the fossils.
What?
Disappearance would be when you stop seeing them there, Laurence.
Why would
I don't know.
What?
It's like he's being intentionally obtuse.
I feel like young Earth creationists specifically. I think a lot of creationists do in general, but young Earth creationists specifically really, really underestimate the amount of damage that last Moses god curse would do to a society.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the amount, like, if you want to talk about a sudden disappearance, the entire Egyptian culture would have collapsed in totality with the loss of every firstborn and all of their alleged slaves.
Oh, my goodness.
Their whole society would collapse.
Mothra just came by.
Hey!
Thanks, Mothra. We'll take a drink.
We love Mothra here. Mothra is one of the best.
She really is. And, oh, my goodness, she came by again?
Uh-oh.
Mothra is getting busy today.
Captain's log stardate 61337.9. We have been exploring for a while now, and we are yet to find an intelligent creationist.
Maybe we need to add the bonus episode to season 2. It's just like you find the planet of the creationists.
We still need to do a lower decks episode with like fans that have come into the Discord and stuff, so I can play the intro on the recorder for it.
Look, record that, and then I'll edit that into the intro later, and we can have that on the ready.
Already ready? Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Roshina for $4.99 says, AI slop cloaca play while someone repeatedly whispers Gould softly in the background. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
that might be one of the most horrifying things I've ever read.
It's all like teal'c.
Oof.
Gawold.
For $5, Lieutenant Matt the Navigator says, due to the linear nature of time, your idea is not even wrong. And then Ian Debunked has joined the channel at the tetrapod level. Thank you very much, Ian Debunked. Thank you. So look, I really love it when people actually just join of their own will, because that means that they're probably going to stick around for a little while. And they're not going to just expire after 30 days automatically. Passion for $2 says, Planet of the Creationists, aka Earth.
Oh, that's sad.
It is a little sad, but it's also a little accurate. So
it's 100% accurate.
Look, we have some cool stuff involving alien contact and stuff like that coming up in like seasons 2 and 3 and whatnot. So like, stay tuned if you like that kind of stuff.
But
will Trigon make a reappearance? Who knows?
It's not likely, but it's not impossible.
If you pester Dapper about him enough, he'll probably do it.
There will be more explicit connections to the Lexington campaign in the future. Trust me, that's going to happen. But also, Sinarizu has also joined at the Tetrapod level. Thank you very much. Everybody, send some Tetrapod emojis to welcome our new members. And remember, if you have a membership, if you want into the Discord, that is just like the Discord just for members and patrons, connect your YouTube account that has the membership to Discord under the Connections tab in Settings, and there will be a list of servers that you can join as a result of connecting. Mine will be on there. You just click the join button, and then you're in. And if your membership expires or something, I believe I have a 2-week grace period for you to re-up or just stick around and hang out for a little while until it does kick you out eventually. All right, here we go. Oh, wait, no. For $2, Lieutenant Matt the Navigator says, remember, everyone's favorite species is the Kazon. Is it? Is that anyone's favorite species? It's the Kazons are just like Klingons from Wish. That's the thing. Could be worse. Yeah, it could be way worse. It could be the Okampa, who are just like, how does biology work? Like, oh yes, it's an entire species that can only reproduce once per lifetime and only gives birth to one baby and are also sexually reproducing. Which means, best case scenario, everyone reproduces. Every generation, your population is cut in half.
Oof.
Yeah, not great.
Oof. That sounds like a dwarf problem. That's a problem dwarves have.
It's worse than the problem that dwarves have.
It is worse than the problem that dwarves have.
Dwarves could just
at least dwarves make more dwarves.
Yeah,
and just dwarves all boys
could just mate with humans and make more dwarves that way.
Yeah, but they're dumb. That's why Moradin cursed them to not be able to do that.
Well, no, they
that they could do that. They could do that to not. They don't do that, so he cursed them to make it so that they would have to. And they haven't figured it out yet.
Of argument, let's talk about sudden appearance. So this is the Cambrian explosion. In fact, I mean, it's
a painting about the Cambrian period, but sure, it's the Cambrian explosion. You think this guy is?
No, sir, that's lined on paper.
Do you think this guy is confused by the painting like that says "Ceci n'est pas un type"?
Yes.
Okay.
Trilobite here. These are real fossils, so be careful with them.
Okay, good. He has a fossil trial. I thought he was talking about the painting of Opabinia, and I was gonna be like, wait a minute. Does he not know the difference between Opabinia and a trilobite? But no, he's got the fossils. It's fine. Everyone's fine.
He's fine.
If you come up, sort of look at them, but don't touch them, maybe.
I mean,
Maybe.
here's the thing. Trilobite fossils are like a dime a dozen. Like, you can just buy them at fossil shops all over
Why
the place.
is he fine with
Fine.
everybody fondling his balls, but he's not cool with people touching his trilobites?
Well, we know where his priority lies, and it's with his trilobite fossils, not his balls.
Fair, I guess.
Look, people get to make up their own priorities, and if your
Yeah.
balls aren't your top priority, that's fine. Use it.
That's a decision. That's
Yeah.
a decision.
I mean, look, Origin got rid of his own balls. He was just like, you know what, they're so low of a priority, I don't even want them.
Yeah, I mean, fair.
And then later
am I to
on,
judge?
a church council had to be like, hey, Christians, you're not allowed to cut off your own balls.
Mm.
So stop.
It's now illegal.
Actually, it wasn't illegal in any, like, you were going to go to jail sense, but you could get kicked out of the church, which...
Kicks
mean,
you out of
I don't
heaven.
know.
That's illegal.
Well, it depends on exactly what, like, theology you're going with. And
I'm just teasing.
So, like, yeah.
You're taking it too seriously.
Well, anyway, Joshua Geese for $20 says, for the F-bombs. Well, thank you. That gets us an extra
Hey.
F-bomb that we can drop at some point.
Let's go.
All right, and we're now more than halfway to getting Bent having that electrician completely covered. So, there we go. And in case anyone is wondering,
You guys are on.
this is also in lieu of the free pizza. So, instead of free pizza, Bent gets free electrician visit.
Yeah.
So, 'cause, I don't know if you know, but an electrician visit is way more expensive than a pizza. So, yeah.
Sounds accurate.
Yeah.
I have here a trilobite from Morocco, and it has
Ooh, Morocco has some fancy trilobites. I'm a little jealous. My fossil trilobite is like from New Mexico. Not nearly as fancy as a lot of those cool Moroccan trilobites. Because the Moroccan trilobites are from later on in the Phanerozoic, or in the Paleozoic, I suppose. So they have a lot more like cool spikes and like eye stalks and whatnot. Whereas a lot of the ones in like the American Southwest are like Cambrian trilobites, which are the most boring of the trilobites, in case anyone is wondering. Which also, isn't it interesting how trilobites get more and more complex as you advance up through the Paleozoic? It's almost like evolution occurred.
Wacky.
I know.
Who
Weird.
could have foreseen this?
It would have been impossible.
eyes, and if you get close enough, you'll see the eyes are multiple eyes like those of a fly. This is the beginning.
We call that in English
Compound.
compound, but English is his second language, so we're not harping too hard on his English vocabulary because look,
I just want to specify that there's a difference between multiple eyes and compound eyes.
yeah, and look, this is one of those things where like this guy's French Canadian and his English is way better than my French. So
We're just trying to help.
yeah. Lieutenant Math Navigator for $2 says Trilobite envy. Look, I do have Trilobite envy when it comes to like Arizona and New Mexico versus Morocco. I'm not going to pretend.
I have no trilobites.
That's not true. Canada has trilobites.
No, I have no trilobites.
Oh, like you personally?
Personally. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's probably true. You
I
can
am
fix that.
trilobiteless.
Just get
I
one.
am trilobite int.
Why not just get one? Get a trilobite.
Eh.
All right. Let's see. For $2,
Send me one of yours.
I only have the one.
Ah.
Go to that weird fossil shop that I was at that also sold ostrich eggs. I was also trying to sell it to ostrich because apparently the ostrich eggs weren't selling very well.
That's funny. That's like cartoon logic.
It was pretty great.
That is wonderful.
I mostly walked in to find out where the nearest gas station was. But, you know, I bought
Then
it.
look at all the treasure you've covered.
Well, there was some treasure in
You
there.
covered a funny joke and a trilobite.
I also uncovered a very, very, very fake mosasaur skull.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. It was full of a collection of like seemingly random Moroccan mosasaur teeth. And
Man.
and like it was a very obviously fake skull that had been like sculpted out of concrete. And it was like, oh.
That's still kind of cool, though.
It is kind of cool. And like those most certainly
Don't pretend to be something you're not. There
Yeah.
was a place, and I didn't buy it at the time. It was like $100, and I wish I did, but my family would not let me buy it. It was a stuffed moose head, but it was plush. It wasn't like a real moose. It was just a plushy, but it was like mounted stuffed head. But it was a super cute, awesome big moose stuffed animal, and they wouldn't let me buy it. And I never saw it again. I was never able to find it again. And I'm like, nah.
You know, when I was in Dubai, I was very tempted by a life-size plush woolly mammoth.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but I also was like, okay, I can't put it on the ship because I was there with the Navy. I can't put this on an aircraft carrier. That's not going to work.
Yeah.
And they said that they'll ship it to my place, but also, who's going to bring it in? Where am I going to put it? It's going to piss everyone else who lives there off to have a giant life-size plush woolly mammoth. But I was also like, yeah, but it's also really, really cool. I didn't get it. I don't think that was the wrong choice. But every once in a while, I do think back to that life-size plush woolly mammoth and think, man, that would be so cool. Anyway, Attach for $2 says, can I get a shout-out to my dog-sitting ward, Siggy? Well, hey, Siggy, here is a shout-out. I hope you're having a great day there, Siggy. Whatever it is you're doing. I don't know.
Belly rubs and ear scritches.
Yeah, maybe
Don't forget to boop that snoop.
Yeah. And maybe play some with some rope or like a frisbee or something.
That snoop deserves a boop.
Boop it. All right, here we go.
Of life for evolutionists. This is 600 million years old. It doesn't say that, but that's what they say. And so, what are you going to
Has anyone ever actually pretended that fossils say a date on them that you could read? And that it's not something
I
that
thought
we
he was
measure?
talking to it.
Oh.
He asked
Look,
their opinion.
no one is pretending that fossils have dates stamped on them. We date things by doing things like having detailed stratigraphic information about which strata come above or below which other ones, and then using things like radiometric dating to date things like, you know, volcanoclastic sediments or actual extrusive or intrusive igneous rocks and things like that, so we can figure out the date range of when various layers were laid down, and then we can correlate that across different regions to get pretty tight constraining numbers on things like sedimentary layers that can't be directly dated. And that's how we do that. And if you want to just offhandedly dismiss that, you're going to have to dismiss things like radiometric dating, not just that the fossil doesn't have a label on it. Because every time you say this, I know that it's supposed to be a funny little joke, but it makes you sound like a moron whenever you say this, creationists.
There's just so much stuff that just stacks on top of on top. It's just a compounding problem. It's kind of like those compound eyes.
Metageeky Platypus librarian who's been a member for 10 months says, don't date fossils, stay in your age range. Well, excuse me, but that forces me to date fossils there, Metageeky. Thank you very much.
Dapper's not allowed to date. He's too old for everyone.
That's true. Man, that sucks. Or at least it would suck if I were trying to get dates.
Confirmed incel Dapper.
Yeah. Well, no, in that case, if I'm not actually trying to get dates, wouldn't that make me like a ball cell?
Yeah, but if you're not trying because everybody's too young for you, that's kind of involuntary.
Huh.
All
right, so half
debate
my
for
age,
later.
Half my age plus 7, so 100, or was it like so like like 75 million years old. I'm gonna go find a T-Rex to date. What's going on there?
That's the youngest you can go.
Yeah, man, that would be much, much bigger than me.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It might cause some logistical problems.
eyes at the very beginning?
Did they have eyes at the very beginning, Laurence? Or did the first trilobites have eyes, but that's not the very beginning of the evolution of eyes? Which of those there, Laurence? Because remember, you've got Opabinia on your thing. It's currently tilted so most virtually just nothing but like part of an eye is visible to the audience, but still, it's there. Laurence, that's what's called a panarthropod. And we know that panarthropods, which are related to arthropods with eyes, existed before trilobites because, hey, guess what, Laurence? Trilobites don't actually show up at the beginning of the Cambrian. So that we know the group that includes both arthropods and their nearest relatives had already evolved eyes. And so the trilobites having eyes is inherited from a previous eyed ancestor, so it's kind of like saying, hey, when the first Homo sapiens evolved, it already had eyes. Yeah, of course it did.
Also, there are things that have evolved out of having eyes.
True.
There are things that have eyes that are less effective because they are less necessary. And there are things that have diverged where these ones have eyes and these ones do not.
Also, I have to say, unfortunately, that we currently have 86 people watching, but only 41 of you have hit like, which means I have to say, sadly, that I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve. So, yeah.
It's probably my fault.
Yeah, Chess shows up and everyone's like, oh, I hate this.
Ugh, ugh, get out of here.
Gross. What is that?
Ugh.
These are sort of complex.
Yeah, I guess kind of. I mean, they're...
Oh, the complexity argument.
I don't even know like how to compare the complexity of trilobite eyes. Like, they've got a bunch of like calcite lenses.
It's
Go
a
to bunch of
question of
photoreceptors. I guess
it's complexity by what metric?
exactly right. I would argue they're less complex than vertebrate or cephalopod eyes, but like
I would argue that
Uh-huh.
humans are less complex than some plants and insects, and so what?
yeah,
Like,
it depends on how you measure
depends
it.
on the metric.
Exactly, and there's no one metric for complexity. Now, there's some
You
cases.
could argue to the end of the world on that one.
Yeah.
You change it. It's like what's the best bird at flying? And it's like, well, what are you measuring? Are you measuring how loud they are when they're flying? Are you measuring how fast they are? Are you measuring how fast they are over long distances or short distances? Are you measuring how effective they are at catching prey? What if they're not birds that generally prey on mammals? What if they are collecting nuts? Like, what are you measuring?
Are there birds that collect nuts?
Now, there are birds that like eat nuts and gather nuts and eat seeds and crap. I don't know.
Prosthetic
Chickadees?
Okay.
I don't know.
Prosthetic Vogon Jeltz, who's been a member for 8 months, says AIG is an assemblage of aberrant appendages, and I agree they are, and we will take a drink. Thank you very much. All right.
And then you get multiple eyes that correct for refraction.
Do you? Because I mean, they have a calcite lens, which means that there just isn't any like much refraction. Light enters and then just kind of travels straight down the calcite crystal to the photoreceptor. I don't know if that counts as accounting for refraction.
I think
correcting
he's
for
just
refraction.
making
I don't know
things
what that
up.
means.
I
Yeah.
think he's just making things up.
Okay.
I think he's just saying words.
Okay.
So I bring this, and I'm not an evolutionist.
Yeah, we know.
So I'm at the debate, and I put this in front of Dr. Cyril Barrett of the University of Laval, and I said,
No idea who that is.
who's the head of the Department of Biology, and I said,
Okay.
Now you know.
what is primitive about this organism?
Okay. So that's actually
Time.
not a bad. Well, so there's the time. So there's also biramous limbs, a vastly simplified gut compared to most modern arthropods. It seems to be basally branching to both Chelicerata and Mandibulata, possibly, or it's very basal to Chelicerata because it also has very poorly developed chelicerae, which are barely distinguishable from the actual walking limbs. So there's the mouth parts that are extremely basal. It still has cerci, which are basically unknown in chelicerates today. They have the telson, but that's not at all the same thing. So there's that. That's pretty primitive. You have very limited tagmatization between the head and the the posterior-most plate. So you actually really don't have tagmatization in there, whereas tagmatization is ubiquitous in the rest of Chelicerata. So there's that. Let's see. There's the difference in actual mineralization between the top of the carapace and the rest of the body, which is significantly less. Actually, it's not really mineralized at all, which is unusual among arthropods to have different levels of that. Most of them all have managed to get their entire body either fully mineralized or just purely chitinous. So there's that. Let's see.
Do you think that this guy had this conversation with this professor and
No.
the professor did exactly what you did, or do you think he had this conversation with a shampoo
I
bottle?
think this is a conversation I had with the shampoo bottle, which means we probably should take a drink.
Yeah.
Let's
I'm
see.
out.
What else is primitive about trilobites that I can think of off the top of my head? There's the entire lack of ocelli, which most chelicerates do in fact have. Actually, I don't think any chelicerate groups except pectogonids, the sea spiders lack ocelli. So there's that. Let's see. There's the fact that all of the limbs seem to end in the same basic structure, which is glycerate-like, which is still only retained right now by xiphosaurans, or the horseshoe crabs, who themselves are branching pretty early on in glycerate evolution. So, yeah,
Crabs are the ultimate life
I don't know,
form.
Laurence. It's almost like when you actually ask someone who knows the answer to your question, it turns out there's a lot that's primitive about that.
How are you measuring primitive? Do you mean primitive in a way that is...
Well, in
Because
this
there's more than
case-
one usage of the word. Do you mean, how is this primitive as in
In this
how is
case,
this
I mean
simple?
basal. I mean basal. Like
Yes,
things
I
where-
know what you mean.
Right.
I'm talking about him. He's doing that thing where you flip words around
Mhm.
and you bait and switch the word. When he's asking about primitive, he's asking about complexity. He's asking about using the term primitive to mean how difficult or simple something is, as
Yeah.
opposed to what the actual question that would answer, like the honest question you would ask, which is, on a time scale, what makes this either simple or what makes this from this time period?
Yeah. All right, we got a couple of things to read here. Al Trucker, who's been a member for 23 months, says AIG be curdle, dork, elk, funk, gunk, hot jaws, krill, limp, mush nubs, orcas, peens, quick rush, flop tops, undervans, brasses, X3D, yanked at suit.
Wow.
That definitely was a message, and I'll just take a drink.
Dapper, you should write a book that's ABCD, like an ABCD book that goes through each of the letters, and each one of them is an example as to why this is primitive.
I
It
would
is
have
them.
trouble with a few of the letters, but yeah, I probably could get a lot of them done at least. Normandy Foxtrot, who's been a member for 22 months, says,
Hey.
as one who bears cephalopod eyes, y'all eyes suck. I mean, not going to disagree. Cephalopod eyes are pretty
Cephalopod's
good.
eyes are pretty rad.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
He says, I'm not a specialist in trilobites.
Cool. I don't
Well,
believe
good
you.
answer.
But yeah, it's a good answer. I don't believe this conversation actually happened, because here's the thing. Laurence, ask someone who actually does know about trilobites. Did you ever think about that?
Yeah, I like that he asked one guy at random, supposedly,
Right.
and then he just gave up.
Because, well, I mean, as the head of biology, he should know about everything. About
Hey, when you
biology,
ask
obviously.
when you ask a pastor about a Bible verse and the pastor isn't able to answer your question, do you just stop studying the Bible?
Yeah, that's the exact same thing, right? If someone's like, oh, hey, can you tell me the exact translation of, like, this one obscure word in, like, I don't know, Psalm 133 or something? And
Yeah,
so
and you're asking a random pastor. You're not asking a professional like Dr. Josh or Kip.
Right. So I was asked by DM Wing, did we fail the emoji race? We've had a bunch today. Right now, when I am looking at my total members, YouTube is telling me that in their most up-to-date version of that number that I can find, we are at 443 members. We need to be at 500, I believe, to get the Kip Davis emoji, which means we are currently 67 away.
30%.
We could get there if we get a lot of memberships, but it would have to be a lot. I'm not expecting to get 67 more memberships.
Not by the end of this month.
Or even by the end of the day. Which is basically the same thing. So I don't expect a whole bunch of people to join when I'm not live.
It is the 30th, sir.
Hey, there's an extra day left on this month. So tomorrow is a real day that exists, and it's the 31st of August.
All right, well, Dapper believes in you and I don't, so prove me wrong.
There you go. Roachna for $4.99 says, nothing like getting a cold salad delivered on top of a hot pizza.
Hey,
And then
love
there's
Al.
Lieutenant Matt the Navigator with 10 more Dapper Dinosaur memberships. All right. And then
Great.
for $2, Tatcha says, no specialist in trilobites, specialist in bullshit. Yeah. Oh, and there's Mothra. My goodness. Here's a quick drink for Mothra. Let's update this right here.
Let's go.
And then, well, I take 10 drinks, which will probably then lead into the break because I'm probably going to need a new drink.
I'm out of drink. I've been out of drink.
Well, Chesh will let everyone know about what she has learned about Klingon as she's been studying Klingon with her Klingon dictionary, which she should definitely put on camera.
Oh, well, I have to get it. It's right over there. the Klingon language is one of the things that I find that I've learned about it is like, besides the fact that it's really irritating in text format because you can't tell if something is a capital I or an L, a lowercase L sometimes. Besides that, which is like, just get a better font, I guess, is that there's a really large amount of like unique sounds. Like I'm using portions of my mouth that like to speak that I don't normally use, and some of them I've taken to really easily, and some of them I struggle like pretty hard with. But like it's like it feels like a wide range. Not that I have much of a reference. I have English and French and maybe like a touch of Spanish as my frame of reference. So it's not a very strong reference point, but for me,
we gotta get you to study Nahuatl.
oh boy,
Yeah.
Must we?
I mean, how do you feel about the Mexica?
I don't know. I don't have feelings about that. I don't know what that is.
It's the people who originally inhabited the area around Mexico City before the Spanish took over. The Mexica. That's where the name Mexico comes from. Mexica
I saw somebody complaining. I saw somebody complaining in a YouTube short, and they were complaining that like how English is dumb because like American, right? And they were like, oh, okay, so you're just adding Mexico, Mexican. And then they were like, but Canada, Canadian. Why did you add an extra I? This is supposed to be English. I'm like, Canada isn't English.
Yeah. Tatcha for $2 says, sans serif fonts are of the devil. I mean, I won't go that far, but it certainly is easier when you're using Klingon if you just stick with serif fonts. But then also, there are another 10 Dapper Dinosaur memberships from Joshua Geese. So thank you very much. I'm going to try to take 10 of these while Chesh continues to tell us what she has learned about Klingon and how much she struggles when reading it in the captain's logs I give her to read, which usually don't have any Klingon, by the way.
Yeah, Dapper's been really nice to me and hasn't put a whole ton of Klingon in there. I wouldn't mind if I had a little bit more time if there was more Klingon in there, but like, yeah, I struggle. But I also struggle to just read normal words. So, I'm not good at this. Not good at reading. No. It's also like, what's interesting is like it's a little bit hard to read something that somebody else has scripted for you as opposed to something you've scripted yourself. Because when you script it yourself, you're like, oh, this is the way I speak, right? Like it's already there, it's already in your brain. But when you're reading something else that somebody else has scripted, you gotta read it a couple times. Otherwise you just fumble over the whole thing.
Rail Gatubella for $2 says, nah, only Comic Sans is of the devil. I mean, here's the thing with Comic Sans.
I like Comic Sans.
Comic Sans is something that it has its uses.
Comic Sans just got overused.
Yeah.
It's not its fault. It didn't do that to everybody. It's like Nickelback. Nickelback is fine. It just got overplayed a bunch and everybody got sick of it.
The same thing is true of Papyrus. Papyrus is a fine font if you're using it in a reasonable context. But everyone was like, hey, what if like 8 different people all started like candle brands and we all use Papyrus fonts? Or what if anytime anything had any connection to anything earlier than like 1500, we wrote everything about it in Papyrus? Like, stop.
Well, I mean, we did eventually switch from Times New Roman. Now everything basically uses Arial.
I don't know if I like that change, actually, because I'll be honest, I'm a little fond of some of the aspects of Times New Roman.
I like the little taggies on everything.
You know what? It is currently time for a quick intermission because I have finished my beverage, which means I can't take any more drinks even if you send more memberships. So we're going to take... Oops, sorry.
I'm kind of scared to make an alcoholic beverage because we have the tavern tonight, but I should.
If you grab like a beer, you'll be fine.
I don't have a beer. I have a shot. That's what I have.
Well, put like a shot of something into like the mixer.
In something else?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some ginger ale. I've been saving it. I'll use it for this. I'll use it for this just because I like you and your audience.
Oh, well, thank you. For $4.99, Roshina says, the metrics internal to Comic Sans make it an evil font. I don't know enough about those, so I can't comment.
Tell me it's numerology.
Rail Gatubello for $2 says, of course Canada defends Nickelback.
Hey.
And then Princess Mishkin, I think Mishkin. I was about to say my skin, and I was like, no, it's probably Mishkin. Yes.
If you didn't have Nickelback, you wouldn't have Mariana's Trench, and if you don't have Mariana's Trench, you don't have Call Me Maybe.
I believe you.
Music.
All right. Princess Michigan for 25 Polish zloty or something approximating that, because I don't speak Polish, says AIG is a bag of members with retrograde syphilis. Oh. I'm gonna have to take a
that's
drink
not very nice.
when we come back. But
that's
gross.
mean.
And thank you. And I will increment the drink counter now so I don't forget. Which also means I might increment it when we come back after forgetting that I incremented it. So like,
Yay.
who knows? All right, we will be right back. Okay, we are back. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for sticking with us. Those of you who did. Chesh, what do you got there?
A knife.
Oh, I see.
Found it in my basement.
You wait, hold up. You found it in your basement?
Yeah.
You know that finding a knife in your basement that's all like weird and whatnot. That's the start to a horror movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, as long as you know that.
Yeah.
Going in, eyes wide open here.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Great. I hope it's not possessed.
Got little skulls on it and little devil-looking stuff.
Great. That definitely won't cause any kind of demon problems.
It's not spiders, so no wolf.
Okay.
I
Well,
would rather deal with devils than demons.
Fair. Although I would rather just deal with neither. All right. Well, now that we're back, I want to say thank you very much to everyone who has supported me or is supporting me now. It really does mean a lot. This channel only exists as it does now because of the continual support of people who watch my stuff, who enjoy my stuff, things like that. If you are currently not helping support the channel financially, but that's something you want to do and can afford to do, it's an important thing. I am not asking you to give me money you can't afford to give me, but if you can, there are a number of great ways to do it. One of the easiest ones is the Patreon. That's also where I get to keep the most money, so it's the one I recommend if your goal is just to support. That starts at $1 a month. You can get a 15% discount if you go annual on that one. There's also the memberships. That starts at $1.99 a month. Both of those give you access to my Discord server. They give you access to early access videos, which are currently about 7 months ahead. It's closer to 6.5, but still. It's like 6.5 months worth of Dapper Dinosaur content on early access that you could just watch. Like, the next video that I put out, there you go, is going to be from like 7 months ago. You're going to be able to look at the comments and see comments from 7 months ago on the video that comes out on Thursday. You could have already
Dapper's
watched
a
it.
machine.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I mean, to be fair,
I feel like I pump out a lot of content. Dapper is beyond.
Yeah, it's every once in a while, Chess is like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "I'm editing." It's like constantly. It's like I'm scripting, I'm editing, I'm animating. At any given day, except like the 2 days I take off a week, chances are you can find me doing one of those things for most of the day. So yeah, if a monthly thing isn't your deal, then there's also like I have a wish list linked in the description. I have a merch store. You can buy a few bits of merch there. And remember, if you are interested, if you're one of those people who likes it, to make sure that I have plenty of rice, perhaps more rice than I have storage space for. I am right now saying that rice is allowed. So there is that. But now that that's out of the way, let's get back to Laurence. I know. Look, Chesh, you
Are you just
agree.
watching me roll my eyes?
Yeah. Chesh, I want you to remember, this was your idea. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when I told you earlier that somebody posted in the Chesh memes and they said, "Hey Chesh, how's your life?" And it's like, "My life is a goddamn prison or punishment." And I said, I've harmed. I must have done something in a past life because, or I must have had a really good past life.
Yeah.
Because I've done myself no favors.
Mm-hmm.
My own worst enemy.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's more Laurence.
A cop out.
Is it a cop out? Is it a cop out?
We can't get 2 words out of this man. He's standing there like he's John Travolta in Pulp Fiction.
Right. I'm gonna take a drink. And here's the thing: it's not a cop out for someone who doesn't know anything about a particular taxon to tell you I don't know enough about that taxon to answer your question. Right? Like if you said, "Hey, Dapper, how many teeth does a 3-toed sloth have?" I don't know. That's not information I keep in my brain. That doesn't mean that evolution is false because Dapper Dinosaur doesn't personally know how many teeth a 3-toed sloth has. That's not how
But I could
anything
just
works.
walk up to Laurence and I could ask him, what level is Gary's Pidgeotto the second time or third time you fight him in Cerulean City? And the answer is it's level 16. And the reason I know that is because Gary's cheating. Because Pidgeotto doesn't evolve till level 18.
Oh.
Yeah, the game's legit
yeah.
cheats. It gives him a level 16 Pidgeotto. It's technically cheating, but it's also kind of not because actually, once you get Surf and you go south of Pallet Town, there's that little patch of grass. You can catch a lower level Pidgeotto in that grass. So presumably that's where Gary got it, or he's cheating.
How did he get Surf though?
He's better than you.
Oh, okay.
He's just better than you.
It's better. Okay, fair enough. But did he run into missing number?
Presumably no.
Okay.
I also like to think that missing no is actually just like a unknown that's just like that's just my headcanon. It's just an unknown that like flicked around somewhere that wasn't supposed to be.
I usually think about it as like a glitch in the first generation of Pokemon.
Yeah, but
games.
I like it to be canon. It's more
all right.
fun.
Fine. All right, here we go.
An escape Disney animatronic.
Doesn't make any sense. Eyes appear out of nowhere.
They don't appear out of nowhere, Laurence.
He literally can't get through one sentence.
We have both living and fossil examples of more basic eyes than we have in trilobites or in humans or in squid, Lawrence. The fact that one man couldn't tell you what was primitive about a particular trilobite, which, by the way, if it was the one you were showing him, wasn't a particularly primitive trilobite in the first place.
It was a trick question.
Right, like look at this Moroccan, like, Silurian or Devonian trilobite. How is it primitive? It's like, I don't know, it's probably not that primitive as a trilobite. Is it an early Cambrian
Shampoo
trilobite?
bottle? You tell me.
Yeah, there's that. I hate this framing. Like, one guy didn't tell me exactly the answer to my question, so therefore, there is no answer to my question. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
This guy didn't know, then no one can know. I do want to point out, by the way, we are at the halfway, and we are at 86% of the way to making sure that Bent's most recent repair bill is just something he doesn't have to pay.
I like the idea that he also framed this question that he asked as a debate question. Like, he claimed he was debating this guy, but then he kind of just claimed that he just sort of walked into his office and asked him, is the way he kind of presented it after saying it was a debate. I don't know. Does Laurence Tisdall want to do debates? I'll hook him up.
You know what? You should. You should up and debate me. Also, I am currently doing steroids, by which I mean I am rubbing hydrocortisone cream on a mosquito bite.
Oh.
Yeah. It just happened.
I'm almost out of mosquito season up here.
I would like
we're
to
almost
be out of
we're
mosquito
almost done
season.
we're almost done construction season up here. It's gonna get muddy soon.
Well, we are just finishing our first monsoon because Arizona is as far as I know, the only place in the world that gets 2 monsoons a year. So that's weird.
We will talk about anything to not have to listen to 2 more words from this man.
Well, the connection is mosquitoes only come out during monsoon because it's the only time there's enough water.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're not wrong. All I'm saying is that we interrupt this man every sentence or less, but he deserves to be interrupted. He doesn't deserve to keep talking.
No, he doesn't. No. Unless it's in a debate where there's a formal structure and he gets a set amount of time.
Yes.
Yeah. Which, Lawrence, feel free. I will debate you about any specific topic in evolution. I won't debate anyone on, is evolution true? Because it's way too broad of a topic. We're going to bring up way too much. You're going to gish out too much. But if you want to debate, are trilobites, or at least early trilobites, primitive compared to other arthropods? I will absolutely have that debate with you, and I will give you specific examples of primitive or basal features of trilobites. Don't worry.
I'm here for this.
Discontinuity. Everything appears. Boom. And it gets worse than that.
Boom.
This is supposed to be the hard facts wall for evolution.
Like a Big Bang?
Here you have some.
Hey, cameraman. Just twist the camera a little bit.
I want to go a little bit further here and say they clearly had an editor because they're flicking between different cameras.
True.
So this was recorded and then edited together. Get his slides.
Right. You could put them up. They wouldn't even have to be all like weirdly blue tinted.
Yeah.
Fossils, and here you have
here we go.
the pieces of wood. You have some magnifying glasses, and you have strata. This strata is supposed to represent.
What am I looking at? What is that?
I have no idea. Is that a ruler it
looks like Midjourney from 2022. I have no idea what I'm supposed to be looking at. He's like, look, we've got like a magnifying glass and some
magnifying
rocks. Magnifying rocks. Okay. Did you put those words into like Midjourney in 2022 and this is what came out, Lawrence?
I'm taking a drink for that. That's real bad.
You know what? Sure, fair. That's fair. I was about to suggest it too.
Yeah.
Have you tried heat pens for mosquito bites? They hurt a bunch for a bit, but then really relieve the itching, says Fits of Rage 23. I have not. What I actually have been doing is dabbing, like when I say dabbing, I mean like I take the hydrocortisone, like squeezy thing. It's like a toothpaste tube, right? Except it's not toothpaste; it's hydrocortisone cream. And I squeeze it just enough so that it's just past the actual like nozzle, and then I just dab that. And if I get that early on, it's usually enough to suppress the allergic reaction completely. At least for me.
Danya said that they're allergic to mosquitoes. That is unfortunate. You need to, wherever you're living, if there's mosquitoes there, you need to move.
You know where I never was bit by a mosquito ever? Phoenix. When I lived in Phoenix, not a single mosquito bite ever.
If you live in the right part of Canada, no mosquitoes.
Is that like Nunavut?
Well, yeah, there's you could go to Yukon, you could go to Nunavut, you could go to, as long as you went far enough north. You could probably there's probably a couple good spots in like far northern Ontario as well. Like most of the provinces have a chunk that's far enough north.
So what you're saying is if you go to the parts of Canada that are even less inhabitable than the inhabited parts of Canada.
Hey, we're working on it.
It's true.
Investment.
Global warming. Josh B says just
too.
gifted 5 more Dapper Dinosaur memberships, which we're now at 92% of the way to making sure that Bent doesn't actually have to spend any money for an electrician out of pocket.
Oh man, look at us go.
Here's that 5th drink. So, first, I want to say thank you guys so much. It really does mean a lot to me and to Bent because, you know, Bent doesn't always have an easy time of it ever since the VA just decided that he didn't get a career anymore and that they were going to compensate him for that by doing nothing. Yeah. So, thank you so much. Ashley Loves Blahai says, hiss, mew, nya, merp, little curly Q smiley face, meows, transfem communication for AIG is a bag of dick. Well, thank you very much. And that's the Ashley I was playing some Space Marine 2 with yesterday. We had a good time. That was fun.
Oh, they want me to try and say it as well. Meow.
That was better than me.
That was my try.
I was barely even trying. So you
A
did.
mew's like a, and then you got.
You definitely do.
I speak better cat. You speak better Klingon.
Yeah, that's true. But then again, I speak better Klingon than virtually anyone. When you take the entire world population into account.
I don't know why you don't have a job doing that.
Because who would pay me to speak Klingon?
They make Star Trek now.
Yeah, but people who speak better than Klingon than me have already grabbed those jobs. I know. Chesh, I know who the translator was for Star Trek Prodigy that did the Klingon.
Yeah, so get him to give you a job doing the thing he's doing.
First of all.
He's doing.
And she's not in charge of all of it. She doesn't have the hiring power. And also, I think I speak better Klingon than she does.
Yeah.
But if that is the case, it's not by much.
I have played 2 cat characters in TTRPGs. This is true. You're right.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Completely accidentally.
Well, you know what? If you're in my next campaign, you won't be a cat person.
I need cat ears. I have little mittens, but I don't have any ears.
All right, everybody. If we can get this to 300%, we can get Chesh cat ears.
Cough.
All right, here we go.
Represent age and time, right? So if you take this.
So he said that the strata represent age and time. So one of the things I want to point out is that it is logically impossible for them to not represent some age and some time. However, you cannot, under either young Earth creationism or science, simply look at a bunch of rocks that are layered and then decide how much time that represents. Because it's more complicated than that. Not all rocks deposit at the same rate. Some rocks have variable rates of deposition. There can be gaps between depositional periods. There can be periods of erosion, followed by later periods of deposition. You don't know how long that's necessarily going to have been until you do work to figure that out. So sometimes a very thick set of strata can represent a relatively short period of time or a very long period of time. You actually have to dig into the details and do geology, do stratigraphy, do radiometric dating. So one of the things that creationists love to do is point to places where we know that a thick layer of rock does not actually represent a terribly long period of time, geologically speaking. And then they'll say, see, this couldn't have been laid down over hundreds of millions of years. And it's like, yeah, no one said it did. Like, that's not anyone's position on this. And so what he's doing right now is setting up a straw man. Let's see. Danya for I gotta switch over tabs here. For 77 euros says, here's some lucky sevens for Bent for better luck. Well, thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. And here is the update there. We're 95% of the way there. I believe in us.
Baby.
I believe in you in chat. Chat has Bent's back. I believe in you.
Chat is also getting really close to that mud kip.
Yeah, that's true. Let's double check where we are on that. So I'm gonna refresh my studio here, and then
Remember, Dapper believes in you, and I don't.
it's true. Yeah, we are at 468, which means we need 32 more
30.
members, basically.
Oh boy! And remember, lowest membership costs how much?
$1.99.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
a pretty good price.
It is. I try to make my membership in Patreon as worth it as possible.
My
Because
membership is the same.
Yeah.
Super low.
This is what
And
they're
then I
trying
have
to.
one that's the highest you could possibly do on YouTube because me and you were having that conversation one time. I was like, what is the highest you can do? And I was like, I don't know. I'm going to put it down and see what it is. It's too high.
What is it? I don't even remember the number.
Isn't
Isn't it like 200 or something?
I know it's higher than that.
500?
I think so.
What do you call that to
I'm
your
gonna
scam?
No, that was on Patreon. Patreon is
Oh,
not.
okay.
I don't. My Patreon's not active right now. Yeah, I didn't. The highest on Patreon is higher than the highest that YouTube lets you do.
While you
for
look that up,
membership.
I'm going to let Lawrence play.
Say the
Yeah.
corals are older than the vertebrates.
Yeah? Well, I mean, broadly speaking, corals are older than vertebrates.
The
Modern.
highest
Oh,
is
okay.
$69.99 Canadian.
Nice. Which means it's probably $50 US.
$699.
Wait,
Yeah.
$699?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, $699.99.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Well, first of all, we just got 25 memberships coming in. 5 from Medigeek Platypus Warlock, and 20 from Regios. So, that's a lot. We didn't hit 30, which is my cutoff for when I just finish the current drink and go grab another one. I'm gonna actually count out 25 drinks while Chesh talks about what it's like to be a Cation and whether or not she has needed her libido post yet.
So technically, no, I have not needed to use my libido post. For anybody who doesn't know, Cations have a yearly ritual that they go through that is basically Omegaverse heat. So if any of you know what the Omegaverse is, I'm sorry. If you don't know what the Omegaverse is, don't look it up. You won't like it, I promise. Don't do it. It's gonna lie to you and it'll melt your brain. But alas, being a Cation is a lot of fun. There's a couple of things that I haven't gotten to explore with the character too much, but I mean, we are only in season 1. We only just finished the season finale, which you should absolutely go and check out, and you should absolutely go and hang out over there and go subscribe, because there's also a bunch of other games and other systems, so you get tired of talking about D&D, or you want some other things to look at and explore, and if you want to even steal some of the rules for your own home games, you should go and check it out. Zerolon is running the next one coming up, and I believe it's Alien, so if you like horror...
We are actually currently, as far as I know, still doing like an open, hey, who wants to play this game? So what I'm actually going to do here
I'll take my drinks now.
is I am going to grab my top hats off guy here, and I am going to copy that right there, and then yep, I'm going to put that in the chat. So if you want to join the Top Hats Off Discord server, there's an invite. So yeah, just come on in. All right, here we go. Here's Lawrence.
Maybe you'll get to play in one of the ones we talked about earlier, the lower decks.
Yeah, or maybe the lower decks, or like in addition to the regular campaigns where I'm pretty.
Okay, listen,
I don't put out open
Josh.
casting. But
Josh, you're upsetting me.
I don't even know who Josh is. Oh, Josh McGee's with the 20. Yeah. So, geez. All right, I'll try. Wait, that can't have been right. Hold on. No, it is. That's our 100th membership on this stream. So we should be good. Let me
Me wrong.
double check.
Thanks, assholes.
Currently says 513. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go and try to add an emoji right now. The first thing I'm gonna do though is open up like GIMP, and I'm gonna save a tiny little file so that I can use it as our temporary stand-in before I actually make the Mudkip emoji. So let's.
While you do that and/or take your drinks, I'm going to look at a couple of the things that chat said. First off, I was cursed for reminding people of the Omegaverse, and
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I'm not that sorry. Second off, Zerolon said that there are a few people interested in the game, and they will have a final player list soon. So if you want to get in there, get in
good.
there now.
Yeah.
And Normandy Foxtrot said, I've been on the internet for 25 years and Tumblr for over 14. Unfortunately, I know the Omegaverse. Do not speak to me of the deep lore. I was there when it was made. Lieutenant Matt the Navigator for 5 said, it lies to you and melts your brain. Given that I used to be a young Earth creationist, that's not exactly unfamiliar.
Yeah.
I assure you there is a very big difference between the mind melt that you get from a young Earth creationist and the Omegaverse. However, there is some intersection. I promise. It is a Venn diagram. There is crossover. Art stream. No, I don't think this is turning into an art stream. Not yet. Anyway.
YouTube is currently saying I need 87 more, and I don't know what the fuck to do with that.
Oh, it might have to like take a hot minute to roll over.
I hope so, because quite frankly, I've counted this out and looked it up, and it should be 500, and I have more than 500 right now.
Can
But
you
hopefully-
refresh?
Yeah, I'm doing that. Hopefully,
Okay.
it's not telling me that what I actually need is 600. Pretty sure that's not right. But
Yeah, I don't think
they
that's correct.
continually lie to me, so like, don't know.
They are kind of stinky weenies, and that's why we're all moving over to Prawn Hub.
yeah, there is that, obviously. So,
Chesh is saying that creationism leads to the Omegaverse. No, think of the children. No, I said it was a Venn diagram, not a flowchart. Although I do like the idea of that being a flowchart. Actually, there's like a good number of people that I've met throughout my life that are bronies and Christian and have some really like freaky pony porn that they like showed me before, and they were also like talking about Jesus at the same time. They were also really drunk at a party, so I don't know. I don't know what to do with that information.
that's a weird combination.
It was a very bizarre interaction. That dude also really didn't like me very much. But that's probably because he was a weird misogynist
Oh, yeah, okay.
neckbeard type guy. He was kind of a dick.
Did he know how many levels there are in
In my experience, most of like those kinds of men don't know how many think that there are 100 levels in Mario,
Oh.
in fact.
I mean, to be fair, I know that there's fewer than 100, but I don't know the actual number. So,
I think it depends on which Mario you're talking about and how you're counting levels.
I mean, I'm assuming the original Super Mario Brothers. Or sorry,
The
Mario
original
Brothers.
Super Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about like the SNES.
Yeah,
Sorry,
like-
no, the NES, the
Yeah,
specific
yes, like
the
the
NES.
famous 1-1 where like, there's the one that everyone knows the entire layout of, that one.
Okay, but you do realize that everybody missed the other thing that he said that was really, really wrong. Everybody focuses on that 100 levels. He says that at the end of the game, you go in, you beat the castle, you go in, and then you go to the princess, and your princess is in another castle. No, that
Yeah,
is
she's there
not
at
the
the
end
end.
of the game. She's there at the end.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the other castles at the end of levels that you don't get the princess.
All right, so
You're
here's
saving the toads.
a thing. I am out of my second drink,
I'm halfway through mine from that.
but that means I need to go grab a drink. So Lieutenant Matt the
Okay.
Navigator for $5 says, it lies to you and melts your brain. Given that I used to be a young Earth creationist, that's not exactly unfamiliar. Yeah, that's true.
Venn diagram.
Look, I've told people that this isn't a secret. A big part of the reason that I do this is to spite the young Earth creationists who lied to me for so many years. Right?
That's fair.
That's in there. And by spite, I don't mean like I'm hoping that they like, get cancer or something. I'm just like I'm going to to the maximum extent possible
Actively fight
spread
against
the
this.
awareness that you are a bunch of liars.
It is the actively going out of your way and using. You go make your drink. I'll talk.
Well, for $2 real quick, this reminds me of the Mustache Man Furry says Thatcher for $2. So thank you very much. Now I'm going to go grab my drink. I'll be right back.
So there is, like, it's something to be said for when something harms you and then you use the spite and you use the anger and you use that pain of what happened to you to fight against the thing that happened to you so that thing doesn't happen to other things. It's actually a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Valorous thing to do. It's a little bit righteous, but it doesn't have to be. But it is very much like I am taking the bad things that have happened to me and I'm imbibing those things, I'm understanding them, and I'm taking them and I'm using it to empower myself to make sure that kind of thing doesn't happen to other people. And that's the kind of stuff Dapper does here. That's not what I do. I'm just a shithead. I don't help anybody. I'm no solutions, only problems. That's what I'm here for. I'm not in the brony space. I do know other people that are more in that space, or I used to, and they're fine. They're fine people, mostly harmless. I think furries are great. I would like to remind everybody that we need to thank our furry overlords for getting us Project 2025 and getting that leaked to us long before the presidential election. So remember to thank your local furry. There is a subsection of fascists that use the furry moniker, but most of the furry community hates them. So they don't count. They also have a completely overlapping Venn diagram of fascist, nutsy furries who are also zoophiles, and that Venn diagram is just a circle because they're just all cool with each other. But again, the greater furry community at large, as far as I understand, doesn't like any of them, hates them, and kicks them out of the communities on a regular basis and gets them banned from events and stuff like that. So it's almost like conventions don't like sex pests. Unless you're a creationist, I guess, because there's a lot of that going around. But you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. This is my understanding. This is sort of what I understand kind of goes on. And I mean, the anime community suffers from the same kind of thing. The anime community has kind of gotten more on top of it than not, except for a handful of conventions like Anime Matsuri. Kyle Pratt for $1.99 said, I feel your anger. Let your hate flow through you. Yes. Welcome back.
Good reference to Palpy.
Yeah.
All right. So I did just. Oh my goodness! I'm just realizing now that the
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
The margins here for the fundraising are cutting off some things. So if we can get this to 200%, I will in fact get Bent a free pizza. I will also.
I'm not getting my cat headphones.
No, that's 300%.
Oh, I'm at the bottom of the barrel, guys.
Yes, or the top of the totem pole which is the least prestigious part of the totem pole. In case you didn't know.
Oh man!
Yeah. Everyone's like, "Oh, the bottom of the totem pole is the worst part." No, that's the part you can see. That's where people spend the most time.
To be fair, I am the smallest,
so
it makes sense to put me up there.
Yeah, for center of mass purposes.
Yeah,
balance. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Listen, you're either putting me at the tippy top or you're putting me as the box at the bottom. And that's
you're
that's you.
What 3 feet and 4 inches tall or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Okay. I mean, I've seen you in a normal sized kitchen. It is kind of comical.
I'm
gonna hit play.
This looks like a normal size glass. This is in fact not a normal size glass.
Chesh is extremely small, in case anyone doesn't know.
Send help, I need a stool. I don't have a stool.
Why don't you have a stool?
Because I moved and then I never got one.
Why didn't you bring the old stool?
I don't know.
Stools are not that expensive.
I think my mom took it.
Oh, get it back.
I don't know where it is.
Guys, we have to have a new fundraiser to get Chesh a stool. All right, here we go and hit play.
Excuse me.
We have fun
right?
Here.
That's what they're trying to say with that. But in reality, let's put their ages. I don't believe in those ages, but I'm just putting their ages on for argument.
Okay.
The corals are supposed to be
I'm putting
400.
their ages on so I can show you what their actual argument is, kind of, so I can
Yeah.
lie about it.
Yeah.
140 million years old. The vertebrates are 450.
Oh my good. Okay, this is not Lawrence's fault. This is, I don't even know if this is anyone's particular fault, but like what's happening right now is that in the transition of this video from whatever format it originally was into whatever storage place it had to whatever format it gained later, there has been some compression artifacts here. So what happens is every once in a while in a video file, you get a keyframe where like the entire actual frame is stored in the video file. But what happens between those frames is that what you actually get is motion data, which is easier to put into a file, is smaller than actual full frames. And what has happened here is someone has missed a key, or the program has missed a keyframe. And so what's being applied is motion data to the wrong colors, which is why we're getting this data moshed effect. And so I'm not blaming Laurence for this. I don't think anyone's to blame, but it's really, really off-putting right now. And I'm going to read this 50 sex super chat from Siloof, and then I'm going to hit play after I reload, because for some reason YouTube just loves to have every browser I try run out of memory. And I don't get it. I'm also on top chat here instead of live chat, so that's great. Siloof for 56 says, a blind, deaf, comatose lobotomy patient could feel my anger. Also, thank you for all you do, Dapper and Shesh, with a Godzilla, a Mothra, and a drink emoji, and we will in fact take a drink for that. And thank you, Siloof.
I don't think these are technically cat ears. I think they're little hornies, but you know, it works.
You are really trying to get me that one of those community guideline strikes talking about corn and horny ears and whatnot.
What? It's not my fault.
Yeah. Sure.
You brought me here. It's a Saturday.
It's true.
And your chat made me drink.
Yeah, okay. Although, all of that happened independent of you deciding to bare your midriff like a harlot.
Yzma, put your hands in the air.
I'm gonna hit play.
50 million years old. Do you see a problem there?
No, Laurence. I don't know what your problem is with corals maybe being older than vertebrates. I don't know what your problem with dating is. I have no idea what your actual problem is with any of this stuff.
I know what his problem with dating is.
Okay,
He already handed his balls out around the room.
Well, there is that. Although he's also wearing a wedding ring, so I assume that he's married.
Well, that explains even more why his balls aren't actually are getting passed around the room instead of in his person.
Yes, as we all know, married people never get laid. That's how it works.
Or they don't get to control their
Balls
the wife is in charge of
the balls specifically.
Yes,
in
the
general?
meme.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
For some reason, balls represent power in relationships. I don't know why.
Do that? I thought it was pants. Like who wears the pants?
Yeah, that's another term. Pants, balls. I like to call mine chesticles.
Deviantic TV, who's been a member for 51 months. My goodness, that's a long time. It's Harry Ball theorem. That is a real theorem, by the way. That's a real thing. So like, yeah. And I also made sure the thumbnail had very hairy balls.
Could be promise ring / sarcastic. I hope so.
I doubt it's a promise ring, but maybe. Oh, here's a fun thing. Did you know that
He's not a youth pastor.
People who got promise rings were more likely to have sex outside of marriage before their first marriage than people who didn't go through that whole thing and have a promise ring. Yeah, it's like DARE. Kids who went through DARE are more likely to try illicit drugs than kids who didn't go through DARE. So, yeah, fun times. Also, here's another fun thing. DARE was just a fundraising smokescreen for police departments because the money people sent to DARE mostly went to nonprofit organizations that then funneled money to local police departments. So DARE was a known to be ineffective program that was just there to give police departments extra money. That's the actual purpose of it. It had nothing to do. Also, it helped that sometimes kids narked on their parents, which then upped the numbers of that police department.
Well, shitty kids.
I mean, to some extent, but like, kids...
I'm teasing.
When a kid says like, oh, hey, my mom or my dad is doing this thing, like, they're hoping for help. They're not hoping that you're going to put your mom or dad in prisons.
Yeah, that's a complicated. That's so situational. It's
Yeah,
so
I'm
situational.
not going to blame the kids for being basically
No,
brainwashed by
no.
cops into narking on their parents. That's the cops' fault.
Yeah, no, I'm teasing. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
So yeah, Dare was far worse than you think. Is basically the lesson I want to put in part there. Because all cops are bastards, all of them, without exception. That cop you think that you know that isn't a bastard? Nope, still a bastard. It's like saying, "Oh, that SS officer was so nice to me." I don't care.
Ew.
Pastor for $2 says, "Dare to create my cocaine overdose." Oh, excellent.
Menu.
I'm updating the counter here. We are at 154, and I'm going to hit play.
Sure, we see a problem.
By the way, that's video is freezing. It's not just you.
Under the magnifying glasses are nothing.
What does that mean? Under the magnifying glasses or nothing? Like
That's
there's rock
referencing
under
his
there?
picture that we don't understand.
Okay, sure. Lieutenant Matt the Navigator for $5 says, "Sex quote education made by people whose sexual ethics are made of stupid is ineffective." Shocking. Yeah. Look, the thing is, like, kids should be informed that abstinence is in fact going to absolutely 100% prevent pregnancies and STDs and whatever. But also, you should recognize the fact that kids aren't going to do that for the most part. I mean, some might.
Should be educated, period. End of sentence.
And so you should also tell them about, like, condoms and hormonal birth control and all that stuff.
I don't actually have a problem with teaching, like, purity as a thing that you can do, but it has to come packaged with everything else. Right. And it needs to not be a guilt trip. It needs to be proper education.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the abstinence-only folks...
If you want to live that way, fine.
Yeah, the abstinence-only folks aren't wrong that it's a 100% defense against, you know, a teen pregnancy or STDs if you just remain abstinent.
Unless God intervenes.
Well, sure, maybe. But, like, that's not untrue. But the problem is that just telling people that isn't going to get them to do it. Right? Turns out that, 1, kids are dumb, and 2, sex is fun. And 3, kids like fun.
And 4, when you create pockets of ignorance, you make a really good place for predators to hide.
Also true. All right. Predators, like maybe the current king of the former United States.
Maybe.
Not maybe at this point. Come on.
No, it's not. It's
not
maybe.
Yeah. And I love that they're like, oh, well, you know, Ghislaine Maxwell said that she never saw him do anything inappropriate. Oh, did she? Ooh. Did she say that before she was moved to a much nicer prison and is now being allowed on work release? Did she say that before that? Weird. Huh. Lieutenant Matt the Navigator for $2 says, or unless a youth pastor intervenes. Oh, yeah. Well.
Yeah, I made that joke earlier.
Youth pastors do not have a great history.
They have a real bad reputation of being creepozoids.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna
anyway,
play.
Back to Laurence.
Yeah. As far as I know, Laurence hasn't done any of that.
So, this is what it should look like. Everything appears suddenly.
Dude, I don't know what that means. Yeah, you've just given me like what looks like a cartoon. What do you... I hate this. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be looking at. This is your fault, Shesh.
Yeah.
All the different species, most species of life appear. In fact, Darwin's...
Wait, most? What about those other ones then? How do you account for that there, Laurence? Charles. I'm thinking I'm on like Jackson with Jackson here.
Oh boy.
To be fair, I usually only get this upset with Charles Jackson.
They start to roll together.
They do. The thing with Charles Jackson is he's so damn smug. Like,
oh yeah.
I wouldn't actually do it, but it's really tempting.
Listen, Laurence has that Quebecois vibe to him.
Wait, do I have that?
No. No.
Well, because, you know, my mom's entire side is Quebecois.
Did you live there?
No. But my grandmother did.
It's one of those things that's a little bit hard to pick up unless you grow up in it.
Fair.
It's like being a rich person. It's hard to be a rich person properly unless you grew up as a rich person.
Okay. Oh, so you know how my name is Timothy, right?
Mm-hmm.
my Quebecois grandmother was never in her entire life able to successfully say my name.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
I was Timothy for her entire life. After I was born, obviously. Or, I mean, after I was adopted into my human family that adopted me after I became part of human civilization. Never mind.
Predictions are this. You can't see that, but I have a little red dot. But anyway.
Okay, I can't see it because the freaking cameraman hasn't turned the camera enough, Lawrence. It's not your fault, but, like, geez. Church group.
It's your fault. You put this out.
I didn't download this from Laurence Tisdall's website or anything. This is grabbed from YouTube from the website of, I believe, the church involved here.
Oh, okay.
So it is
All
the
right,
church.
then we'll blame the church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, look, I try to
there's
be
a lot
fair.
more that there is, and Pibblemonk makes a good point in the chat. There is a lot more that comes around with purity culture, but I think purity culture is a little bit different than like educating abstinence and educating like saving yourself for marriage. If you want to educate saving yourself for marriage, I think that's fine as long as it comes with all the other stuff and drops all of the guilt trip.
Look, if you're someone who's like, yeah, I don't want to do anything like that until I'm married. Okay, good for you. Have fun.
People
with that.
shouldn't be shamed for making that decision,
Yeah.
and people shouldn't be shamed for making any other decision. It just needs to be educated.
Yeah. Like, look, I'm not here to tell you to sleep around or to be chaste for your entire life or anything in between. That's your decision.
Right. If you start with one type of life that's a phyla, you're going to go to.
Okay, a phyla is getting your plurality wrong. It's a phylum, and there are phyla that exist. Phylum is singular, phyla is plural. Again, I'm being a little bit generous here toward Lawrence, but here's the other problem. Also, this is just basic Latin, and it works the same way in French as it does in English, because Latin is a separate language from either of those. So, he should probably know. Lieutenant Math Navigator for $2 says, a graph with labeled axes, a rarity among young Earth creationists.
I'm going to go ahead and say that's generous calling this a graph.
Well, yeah, but also, I'm actually not sure. I haven't actually checked to see if labeling axes is, like, particularly uncommon among creationists. It would be interesting to know.
Yeah.
Many different types of life. And so you start with this bacteria, and then you end up with more and more differences in the life forms. That would be the prediction from the theory. But
okay, hold on. You start with a bacterium, which is wrong, because you would actually start with something that was far more primitive than a bacterium. So there's that problem. But then you wind up with more and more diversity. But that is what we see in the fossil record. So I don't know what the problem is supposed to be. Oh, you know what he's going to do? I realize what he's going to do. He's going to talk about disparity and ignore the fact that disparity versus diversity is an artifact of the Linnaean taxonomic system, which is itself arbitrary and not actually reflective of evolutionary history. And so,
Oh boy, get ready to drink for a prediction.
I think that's what's going to happen. If he says that, like, oh, we start with disparity and then we get diversity later, that's what's going on.
if we look at the fossils, it's the opposite that occurs. Everything appears suddenly.
Wrong. In fact, his only thing that he used to support this was Stephen Jay Gould talking about species-level diversity and not phylum-level diversity. Because remember, he's already shown us opabinia on his own slide, the thing that shows that he's wrong about everything appearing suddenly at the phylum level. Because he's now talking about phylum level, whereas Gould, his only supporting argument, or supporting source, which doesn't actually support him, was talking about species level. So, keep going.
570 million years ago, about 600 million years ago, the Cambrian explosion, and then we lose after that.
Oh my god, I'm going to take a drink. Okay.
You lose? Yo, you lose. You get nothing, sir. Good day. Black and white.
So, Chesh, do you know what you're looking at right now?
No.
It is a graph of various taxa
Morphological something.
distance.
Hmm.
It is a graph of various taxa and where they occur
Alright.
in the fossil record.
Okay.
It is not even attempting to show genetic relationships.
Right.
So what he's doing is he is comparing apples and oranges.
So you're telling me he's showing me one thing on the screen, but saying something different with
Yeah.
his mouth, assuming or attempting to imply and attribute one thing to another that it's not applicable to?
Right. So,
Which is kind of maybe dishonest?
yeah, just a little bit. So this graph here is not even attempting to show you the evolutionary relationships between things and how they might connect to each other. And if you do that, you get a different graph. This is just saying, hey, when did taxon A appear? Like, we'll say, like, crown arthropods. But that doesn't tell you that stem arthropods in other groups appear earlier and then
And
disappear
how they are
before.
related?
Right. So this is like saying, like, okay, Church, I'm going to assume that you have cousins.
All right.
What if I listed all of your cousins in alphabetical order by, and then I put them on a chart in terms of time based on, like, when they were born, and then
Their age. Sure.
if they died, I then, like, lead them off the graph
How
as I
long?
go up. Right. So,
Yeah.
and I don't know if any of your cousins have died. I hope not.
I'd have to think about it.
Okay. And then I was like, see, this proves that you're not actually related to each other because there's no connection between you. See why that might be a problem?
That makes no sense.
Exactly. But that's literally what Laurence is doing right now.
Yeah. That is, yeah, you're right.
Yep.
And all these different life forms, all these different families, which basically cover
Their families? I don't believe you, Laurence. I don't believe you. That's a list of families. But sure, whatever, maybe.
all major groups that exist now.
Major groups. What the hell does major group mean, Laurence? I'm taking a drink.
My brother in Christ. Stop! Cease! Desist!
That reminds me.
Monterey!
Gets a given called Robert Carter, my brother in Christ. And then later in a video, he was like, I don't know if this means that Guts Gibbon is a Christian or anything. I don't know if she was using it ironically. It's like, oh my god, Rob. Guts Gibbon is very open about being an agnostic and not a Christian.
They're so serious. They struggle so much with what is literal and what is metaphorical and what is just a saying.
That one drove me a little bit crazy. Although, to be fair, of all the things Robert Carter has done,
that's funny.
One of the least, like, serious things.
Harmful, yeah. Like, just funny, haha.
You know, he ruined cheetahs for me for like a year and a half.
Oh, that's upsetting.
Yeah. And then when he corrected himself about the thing that ruined cheetahs for me, he didn't even mention that it was me that called him out on that. He was like, a critic. I was like,
that's just rude.
Critic, Rob? Which critic was it, Rob?
Gee, I wonder.
Yeah. Thanks, Rob. And that was after he tried to dox me on, like, creation.com. But it didn't actually dox, but, like, gave out information that for me would have been private about the wrong Dapper Dino. He gave out information about the guy who does coding tutorials, or used to do coding tutorials.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
I was like, thanks, Rob. Not only are you getting the wrong Dapper Dinosaur, but that information would be private if it were me.
It would be really funny if that guy got, like, a couple of, like, not harassed, but if he got, like, enough of, like, messages that he was like, I'm gonna come back to YouTube just to code to screw this guy over.
All right, I'm gonna hit play.
Appear and disappear and don't change, just like Stephen Gould said.
Do they appear and not change? Because that's actually not true, Laurence. You looking at the graph that says, hey, this is how long Lobopodia existed, doesn't tell me whether or not Lobopodia changed, because I'm going to tell you right now, Laurence, Lobopodia did change throughout their entire existence. And no, they're extinct right now. So you can't tell me they didn't change. Again, if we go back to the cousin graph, right? Does me putting a line on the graph of Chesh's cousins mean that they didn't age? No, of course not. That's not what the graph is supposed to be showing. Chesh, your hand is raised. Go ahead.
I have a question.
Yes.
Did he not just say when they stop existing, like they disappear is the word he used? He referenced the flood. Where's the timeline across where they all died in this?
Yeah, why don't they all have the same extinction level?
They should have the same one all the way across. If
they should.
and that's not there. So where is it?
Yeah, don't worry, it's just not a thing. Nita
Oh,
for
all right.
€2 says, my brother
It's
in
like
Christ...
it's like if my cousins were all on a boat that capsized, and so we all had the cutoff date at the same
Right.
time.
Nita, who's for €2 says, my brother in Christ, get good. Agreed.
Get good.
Yeah, Laurence needs to get good.
I mean, this man has a degree, is walking around doing talks and getting paid actual money for it, and I'm just some asshole.
Yeah. I mean, me too, basically. People...
Yeah,
okay.
but you're more of a professional than I am.
Okay, fair. But here's a question I want my audience to tell me. Why did people call me a linguist, but not a paleontologist? I would argue that I know at least as much about paleontology as I do about linguistics. But no one calls me a paleontologist.
I like to call you a historian behind your back.
That's at least closer to true. I have a degree in history. I don't have a degree in
And you talk
paleontology
about
or
things that
linguistics.
happened.
Yeah, that's true.
Paleontology is history.
No.
It's been so long since I got to drop that. It's been so long.
You know, you're counting on me to show up for a show later on today.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, exactly. There's the other one. Now
There it
we're
is.
back down to 0.
Ah.
Where's the evolution? What we see there is they reproduce after their kind.
Laurence, I'll tell you what. If you define kind in a way where I can objectively determine if any two organisms are in the same kind or not, then I will take that statement seriously. So far, you haven't tried. Until then, every time you say kind, it's literal nonsense. It doesn't mean anything. Also, I don't think Ben's going to get that free pizza, but that's okay because he's getting a free electrician visit, which is way more expensive than a free pizza. Or a pizza. I guess it's not more expensive than a free pizza. You know what I mean.
If they're both free, they're the same.
I've had so much. I'm going to show up to Chesh's show later on today. I'm just going to be done already.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good way for Dapper to be when he's going to talk about politics. I promise you will have a very good time. Dapper's not going to have a good time.
No, I'm not. I'm miserable.
Yeah.
Although it will be nice to hang out with Manya and Landon.
Yeah.
Chesh, yeah, I could take her or leave her.
Yeah. I'm here sometimes.
Well, I mean, on that show, you're there all the time.
I'm only here when you need me.
That's what we see. We don't see evolution in the fossil evidence.
Do I have my... Okay, hold on. I'm going to add something here. Let's see. Oh, there it is. So what you're looking at right now is a slideshow of labeled transitional fossils.
Oh boy.
They were
It is
predicted
time.
by evolution. They were not predicted by young Earth creationism. Nothing that you're seeing on screen here is something that creationists were like, oh yeah, no, this should exist. Now, in retrospect, they've come up with excuses as to why those things do exist, but accommodation is not the same thing as prediction.
Yeah, ad hocing something in retroactively isn't exactly that doesn't count.
Exactly. So, Lawrence, when you say there's no evidence of evolution or there's no evolution in the fossil record, you're just lying, and I'm going to take a drink for that. Don't worry, it'll increment when we're done with the slideshow. But yeah, the slideshow is still going. And none of these slides are staying up very long, and these are only the transitional fossils that I could find good fossil pictures for. There are many, many, many others that just don't have great pictures that I can find with a Google search. And we're now done with the slideshow. So, yeah. Lawrence, okay, I don't know for certain that you're lying to me right now. But it's hard for me to believe that if you looked into this, you didn't find this information.
This is from Pour la Science, a recent in 2002. The appearance and, more importantly, the diversification of numerous large zoological groups at the dawn of the Cambrian remains what Darwin has already described as a serious difficulty in the history of evolution.
Ooh, citation.
Yeah, he gave us some name of some French publication, French language publication. I don't know what that is. And also, you didn't give me a date, authors, or anything else that I could use to actually look this up, Laurence. So yeah, that's going to be a citation needed. I believe that's John Hopkins, for $20 says, for the fund whose name I think YouTube keeps trying to stop me from saying.
If that is you, you almost died yesterday.
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah. You should go watch on Top Hats Off.
Oh yeah, I thought you were actually talking about the chatter and not the NPC, or the supporting character. I was like, oh no, John Hopkins, stay alive, don't die.
It's okay, I saved you.
Oh yeah, you did.
Probably. You should go watch. Find out.
You should. Look, Star Trek Endurance is a lot of fun.
It is. It is a lot of fun.
So, all right. You know what?
Now's a good time to watch the whole playlist.
Yeah, it is, because we're on break right now. I'm not gonna hit play again. I'm
we done?
Yeah, we're
giving
done.
up.
Yeah, all
right.
We've been going for.
Look at what we're dealing with.
We've only got like 5 minutes left until the end of the show normally anyway. So, Chesh, you have a thing coming up today, and I have been roped into it. And I do want to say, when Chesh started this show, and she was like, oh, hey, we're going to do this thing, I, to this day, do not ever remember consenting to be on the show.
You're talking about the channel. Or you're talking about Debate Hub.
Debate Hub. Right.
The pub. Yeah.
Yeah, Debate
Unnamed
Hub.
Tavern.
Yeah, Unnamed Tavern. Yeah. That was a show that Chesh started, and she was like, oh, Dapper, we're starting the thing. We're gonna come on and hang out. We're going to talk about news and stuff. And I was like, what's happening? And then suddenly I was there, and I never actually consented.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but he shows up every time, even the times that he forgets.
Wait. Yo, that's true. Yeah, that is true, actually. Yeah, sometimes I forget and then show up last minute after having...
You don't forget as often now. You were forgetting for a little while.
Well, part of that is because I never consented to this.
Yeah, and I was just like, yo, you come in, and you were like, to what? And I was like, my show! And you were like, oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, there you go.
You can't say no to me. Look at me.
So that's at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, right?
Yes.
Cool. Do you have anything else that's coming up that you want to tell people about?
If you like philosophy and argumentation and how to do that stuff, I have a handful of philosophers that are actually learned in the field. Then that happens also on Saturdays, but it is the first Saturday of the month. So the pub, and so politics and news, world, geo stuff going on happens on the last Saturday of the month, and the first Saturday of the month.
Mothra's back.
Is philosophy. So if you like philosophy or want to learn anything about philosophy, and we try to keep the the philosophical jargon to a minimum. So we try not to spin off into oblivion and try to basically talk about practical philosophy that you're already using in your day-to-day life, and sort of giving you the tools to recognize or talk about what those things are. And also a lot of it is sort of recognizing who you are as a person and how to describe that, and giving you the words to explain that to other people.
All right. So, what is coming up here on the Dapper Dinosaur channel?
And DFF might be coming back to a regular. So that's Dumb Feck Friday with me and Manya.
Actually, well, we have at least one free one now because people have donated. So it's based on
the show is actually called Dumb Feck Friday.
Right. Well, then I just used it and you interrupted. Now we've wasted it. So, on Tuesday, we are having the next Kent with Bent. That is going to be starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Then on Thursday, we've got Walter Veith Wants You Dead.
Hey.
Because I am not exaggerating, Walter Veith, if he got his way, his ideal for society would result in the majority of my audience being dead. Yeah. So, if you want to know exactly in which ways Walter Veith would like you to die, show up at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. Then, on Friday, over on Top Hats Off, assuming that we have the requisite number of people and whatnot, we're going to be doing the first session of a Alien TTRPG cinematic play. Cinematic play is sort of a one-shot idea, although it usually takes more than one session. Characters don't really do character advancement. There is an assumption that there's going to be some kind of like player versus player conflict, not necessarily a fight, but like conflict. And it is a lot of fun. It's a really great system. I don't know if I'll be there. I do sort of want to take a little bit of a break off. I've been going pretty hard on the TTRPGs for a while. But that is the plan. Zerolon, who's in the chat very often and who plays Dr. Hobnall on Star Trek Endurance, is going to be the GM for that, or the Game Mother, which is what that stands for, in case you're wondering. Yep. So yeah, if you like the Alien franchise, or you like TTRPG actual plays, or you just like, the people who are in my chat and the people who I have on as guests, go over to Top Hats Off, check that out. Then on Saturday at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, I am expecting us to be back with Dapper Reacts with with Vish and Kip, not Chesh.
You get that wrong. The cats get that wrong.
Yeah.
I am not Vishanti.
You are not.
I'm honored, but I think she might be insulted.
Well, if she's insulted, she can yell at me later.
And she's not gonna yell at you. She's gonna yell at me.
Why wouldn't she yell at me? She might yell at both of us.
That's true.
Yeah. All right. So normally after this, we have a watch party over on Discord. We're not having one today. But we have finished with Power Rangers, so the next one that we do on Tuesday is going to be Godzilla.
Congratulations. What an accomplishment that is.
It's
watching all of Power Rangers is like, that's
like
so
980
much.
something episodes. It's so
What did you say,
much.
30 years worth of television?
Plus a few movies.
And and imagine going into like the rest of like Super Sentai stuff that's like in Japan.
We're not doing that. No,
especially like the one where Spider-Man is a bad guy.
Well, to be fair, Spider-Man isn't in the Super Sentai, but their Super Sentai use of giant mecha is based on the fact that Japanese Spider-Man had his own mecha for some reason.
Yeah, and he was evil, I guess.
Well,
I don't know.
Sometimes, I guess. All right, anyway, guys.
So funny.
Thank you so much. I cannot express how much it means to me that you guys came together to help out Bent. You got us... YouTube likes to lie to me about how many freaking... members I need, apparently. So I don't know what the deal is there. I'm going to be double checking later on today. I'm sorry. But yeah, thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And hey, go over to Debate Hub, because we're going to be doing Debate Pub. And I'm going to apparently drink even more. I'm going to be dead by the end of today.
Well, yeah, I'm just going to type in the chat so you guys can just click on it from there.
Yeah, do that. All right, well, we're going to get out of here.
Scribbles!
See you in a few hours, I hope.
Bye!
Hey, before you leave, I just want to take a second to thank my patrons and channel members, especially those pledging $20 or above. Ben Tovand, Tapioca Weasel, Arrow Dodger, Caleb Anderson, Dan Sheedy, Eleron Teller, Phil Cavara, Ian Chen, Kelvin Brostock Van Manen, Landon Knoll, Mabdy Babdy, Sphincter of Doom, Volis, North Texas Fossils, and John Ackerman. It's because of my channel members and patrons whom you're seeing on screen that this channel can stay afloat. Without you, it would all shut down. If you want to join the team, there's a link to join the channel below this video, and there's a link to join the Patreon in the description. On the Patreon, you can get a 10% discount for pledging annually, and either way, you get early access to virtually all of my scripted videos, often 3 to 5 months before they come out for the general public. Thanks for watching.